Now you say the Most High gave his word to everybody, right?
That bond is you living out right now. That bond is why you at the bus stop right now.
You understand? The scripture says, any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of God. They think the law is a small thing.
Separate, man. We are separate from these other nations, man.
That's right.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, I'm this and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a crippling. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind field. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like Van Pelt, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. Try to deal death to a priest, you won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand, just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. No. So how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga, I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In puff smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, that's all I know. In the photo, salute my nigga, salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. And I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. Know what it is, man. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga, I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah.
Con. I don't want con. We ain't went too long, so we're going to take it to the top. The water office of 1,000, Awadya. I think that was you that sent that to me. I appreciate that. Now, oh, I can see that you can hear me. This thing is loud. Let me know if it's kind of fuzzy. That just means I got it too loud if it's fuzzy. So let me know that. Here we go. I'm going to start at the top. We are the ISUPK. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of One West, Harlem, New York, back in 1969. And today, under Commandant Joan Yohana, who the Most High has put in charge of all of Israel, right up under Christ. You understand? Commandant Joan Yohana is right up under Christ. And under him, we have spread throughout the earth. I'm serious now. When I say throughout the earth, I had a brother in my Lashawan Kodash class. I think he said he was tuning in from Finland. You understand? We often see brothers from Canada, Jamaica, England. Come on now. Haiti. You see that? Dominican Republic. All over you name a state in the United States, there's a camp there. And watch this. If I'm mistaken on that, and y'all out there, and there is not an ISUPK camp in your state, look at here. The numbers on the screen, call me. Call me. We can rectify that immediately. If there's not an ISUPK in your state, give us a call. We're going to fix that because we here, we coming, and we not trying to hold you up. Let me get this mask off my face. We still wearing masks up here in Detroit on this bus. Today is the history class. Like I say, we all know if you got any age on you, we've heard this. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And if you don't know where you're coming from, where you came from, you might end up any damn where. And we are here to make sure you end up in the truth. Okay? We're here to make sure you end up in the truth. There is no truth outside of the ISUPK, for we are the home of the truth. And if anybody, I don't care who you are, Christian, Muslim, Moorish American, I don't give a damn who you are. If you think we not the truth, come see me. Not only me, come see the ISUPK. We can answer any questions you got. Try us on any level of this Bible. You understand? And we will enlighten your little feeble mind. So we're going to get straight off into the scriptures. What we're talking about today is something that's historically significant, if I may. And we're going to go over here. We're going to start. Watch this. If you're not in the ISUPK and you're a sister, be prepared to get triggered. Okay? If you're a brother, if you're a weak brother, be prepared. You understand? Be prepared to get triggered. All right? Because I'm not going to hold you up today. We're going to go to the book of Exodus. You understand? We're going to the book of Exodus. And I'm going to tell you right here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let's go to the end of Exodus 1. Right, towards the end of Exodus 1. Today, I know, get ready to cringe, sisters. Especially if you're not in this ISUPK. Because what I'm finna talk about, if this has happened with any sister that is in the ISUPK, now that she's in the truth, she's a whole new creature. So it is as if it has never happened. Though she may still feel something about it, I guarantee you, sister, you in this school, don't worry about it, you're saved. Just keep having more prince and more princesses in Israel. You squared away. The Most High is forgiving you for that. Listen to what I'm talking about. I'm going to back up. We in Exodus 1, and we starting at the 15th verse. You see, starting at the 15th verse. And what I'm going to tell you is right here, these scriptures are finna show you why most Christian women hate the Most High. They hate the Bible. Y'all don't hear me though. They hate the Bible. They hate what the Bible actually says. What they prefer is to hear Pastor Porkchop entertain them, make them feel good. I'm not here to try to make you feel good. I'm here, I'm lifting up my voice. I'm prophesying to the wind, and I'm telling Israel, blacks, Hispanics, so-called, and Native Americans, their sin. I'm showing them their iniquity, right? And watch this. This is so easy to fix. The Most High fixed me. The Most High fixed my brothers here in the Detroit camp. You know how he fixed us? He brought us into the truth. And we just start living according to what the Bible says. Do you dare do that? Do you dare do that, Christian woman? Do you dare do that, Christian man? Christian man with all that femininity. I hope I said it right. You know that ain't right. You don't even feel right being a damn alternative lifestyle individual. I guess that's politically right. An individual of an alternative lifestyle walking on this earth. I know you don't feel right. I know you want to get a beard like mine. Glorious. I know you want to get a beard like this. Full nappy. My beard is nappier than my hair. And I'm loving it. You see what I'm saying? And also, I want to reach out to, if any brother or sister that I be seeing up there in Bring the Smoke Room on Clubhouse, if you listen to us right now, if you seeing me right now, I'm Officer Mashah. If you seeing me right now, ping everybody, call everybody, tell them to tune in. Tell them to tune in, because we finna walk down through there, because y'all kept me up all night last night now, and y'all the reason. And beside my brother in the back, that mighty man, Officer of 1,000, Zarak. You understand? That's the brother you want in your neighborhood if you need security. That's the brother you want in your neighborhood. You need an Israelite brother. I know in your neighborhood, brothers still what? Gang banging and drug dealing and all that. You want to get some security? Call the ISUPK. You understand? Call the ISUPK, and guess what? You don't have to be the community representative. You don't have to be a block organizer. All you have to do is be so-called African American, so-called Native American, so-called Mexican American, Latina American. That's all you got to be. Look at the number on the screen. Call us. You want the drugs to stop? You want the black or brown on brown, black on black crime to stop? Call the ISUPK. Get into these classes. So let's get these scriptures, all right? Let's get these scriptures. This is Exodus 1. You know what Exodus means, right? To exit, the leaving. You see what I'm saying? Getting out. The Israelites found themselves in a place called Egypt. It used to be called Mitzrayim, but when the Greeks came in, they changed the name to Egypt, which in the name Egypt means what? It means bondage. How do you know that? You go to the scriptures. Exodus 20, verse 1. I am the Lord thy God that brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me. You see that? So we already know that Egypt means bondage. So what I'm bringing you is a scripture, and I'm giving you the backstory on it, right? Israel finds themselves in Egypt years after Joseph saved his whole family. They went in 70 people strong. By this time, right, by verse 15, it's a whole lot more of us than then. And watch what happens. This is where we're going. Exodus chapter 1, verse 15. And the king of Egypt, that's Pharaoh, spake to the Hebrew midwives. You see what I'm saying? He spoke to the midwives. What's a midwife? A midwife is a woman that delivers babies. So why would the king of Egypt be talking to the midwives of Israel? They are of no significance politically. You understand? They don't have a damn thing to do with the policies, domestic or international policies, of what the king of Egypt does. But the king of Egypt called the midwives in front of him and began to talk to them. Listen to what he said. Of which the name of one was Shiphrah, or Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. You see that? Here's two significant midwives. I guess they're the head of the midwives. They got some skills. They can deliver babies. I wouldn't care if the baby's breached. That means he's turned around backwards. If he's coming out bold, that means he's coming out with his butt first. I don't care about these sisters. Got these babies into this world alive and saved the mother. Now let me tell you a secret. Go look it up. Go look it up. On the internet, you can look up everything, right? So go look it up. When sisters that are having babies are attended to by what? Black doctors. Now they got some fake news out there, but when sisters, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, are attended to by their own people in having babies, their own gynecologists in having babies, right? Their own nurses in obstetrics having babies, right? The survival rate of both the baby and the mother shoots up astronomically. Astronomically. You see what I'm saying? There's something about receiving medical assistance, medical care from your own people that keeps you alive longer. And I'm serious about this, and I wouldn't give a damn if somebody decided to sue me for libel or whatever they want to sue me for. But when I go, I'm a veteran, sad to say, but when I go over to the VA hospital, you can look at my record right now. There's a note, don't let a damn African touch me. I don't care if I'm unconscious. If it's an African, don't touch me. Don't touch me. In fact, specifically, get me another Israelite up in here, African American, a Mexican American, a damn Native American. You understand me? Don't touch me. I don't trust you with my life. You see that? I trust my people with my life. And here's why. Because the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, has taught me who my enemy is. Don't get it twisted. You got enemies, Israel. Don't get it twisted. I know who my enemies is. And they everywhere you go. Your enemy is everywhere you go. So you want to always look out for yourself by looking for your people. You with me? Let's get back to the scripture. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. Verse 16. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife, okay, when you're performing your duties, when you delivering babies, listen now, and see them upon the stool. You know, back then, the sisters used to sit up on the stool to deliver a baby. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't in no bed. They was up on the stool. And the midwife is going to catch this baby. You see what I'm saying? And if it be a son, that means if it's a boy, then ye shall kill him. They asked these sisters to break this baby's neck when it came out the womb. But if it be a daughter, then shall she live. Watch this. Sisters, get ready to get triggered. Every one of you that say that there ain't no good black man, you can't find one, and you want to choose another nation, You are as dumb as a box of rocks, and you don't have the sense God gave a rubber duck. You understand me? Here's your enemy saying, if it's a boy who can grow up to be a warrior, right? Kill him as soon as he come out of the womb. But if it's a girl, leave her alive. Why? Because they want to possess you. Our enemies want to possess you and want to put their seed in you and therefore produce only their babies. We do understand that your nationality is counted according to the seed of the male, according to your father. So let me break some hearts. Let me break some hearts right here. If you call yourself biracial and your mama is Mexican, your mama is Native American, your mama is so-called African American, and your father is a Caucasian, then I hate to tell you, but you're a Caucasian and you are not welcome here. The only way you can even get near the school is you figure out a way to marry one of the brothers in Israel. And you understand, we advise him not to marry a heathen. You are a heathen, sister, a so-called mixed biracial woman. If your daddy is white, just like Bob Marley's daddy was white, Bob Marley is a white man. Even though his hair was as nappy as mine and his beard was as scraggly as mine, Bob Marley was a white man because his daddy was a European. His daddy was an oppressor. His daddy, what that word we use, they were colonizer. His daddy was a colonizer. And that includes the Spanish folk too, because you know Spain is just another country in Europe. Particularly if your father from northern Spain, you are a European. You are a Caucasian. You are a heathen. You get it? And stay the hell away from us. Now, let's keep going. But that shows you who's under attack. Pharaoh didn't attack the women, the female babies, but he held the male babies to be an enemy of the state and a threat to his rule. Get it through your head, man. Get it through your damn head. Your only protection of Israel exists in the men. That's why Pharaoh said kill all the male babies and leave the female babies alive. Why? Because what? If it's no black men, Salakia, if it's no so-called black men, if there's no so-called Native American men, if there's no so-called Latino men, right? You women, our women and children have no protection. And if they get the babies, they coming after the toddlers. And if they get the toddlers, they coming after the 5-year-olds. And they get the 5-year-olds, they coming after the 12-year-olds. And if they get the 12-year-olds, they coming after them teenagers, man. You see that? Why am I talking about this? Have you heard of Planned Parenthood? Have you checked the statistics on how many goddamn abortions our sisters have had? Now, what I would like to know, and I haven't looked this up, I would like to know the rate of abortions sisters have when they carrying the baby of a white man or an other than Israelite man, compared to the rate of abortions that our sisters have who are carrying Israelite babies. I bet you'll find the disparity so wide that it'll blow your mind. So y'all thought abortions were new. What I'm reading to you right now is what for our people is the origination of abortions. Let me read that one more time. And he, Pharaoh, said, when ye do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman and see them upon the stool, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. That's an abortion. That's an abortion. and abortions were targeted for Hebrew male offspring. You got it? That's what got that thing right there is what eventually got Egypt blown damn near off the face of the earth. Understand, at this time, when Pharaoh issues this decree, Egypt it can be compared to America today. Uh-oh. Why? Because it's a world power. Uh-oh. Why? Because of the way it oppressed Israelites. You see that? Run over with me. I'm going to come back to that. But run over with me to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Watch this. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. You think I'm playing? You think I'm just making this up, that America is Egypt? You think I'm making this up? Watch this. This is what the Bible says, written about 3,500 years ago. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now understand that the promised land was an 11-day walk from Israel. 11-day walk. Walk. If you think this prophecy is talking about going back into the original Egypt, you crazy and stupid too. You crazy and stupid too. Why? I don't need a ship to walk for 11 days. I walk 11 days, I'm in the promised land. So right there, we know it's not talking about going back to the old Egypt, but it's talking about a new Egypt. And that new Egypt is called America, and it's in the new world. So don't have no problem with me about New Egypt, because you know about the new world. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and why did he sail? To find a new world. What did he find? A new world. You see that? Rome patterned itself after Egypt. America patterned itself after Rome. Therefore, America is Rome. Therefore, America is Egypt. And if you think I'm lying, riddle me this. Let me reach in my pocket. Riddle me this now. I'm going to take out a simple $1 bill. What is the main sign? If you see this any place, you see one of these any place, the first thing your mind do is go back to Egypt, right? Think about Egypt. And what is that? That damn pyramid. That damn pyramid. You see that? Now watch this. Let me show you something. This is a $1 bill of the American money. What's that right there? Tell me, what is that right there? That's a damn pyramid. I said America is the new Egypt. And in Egypt, let's go back to Exodus. And in Egypt, the sister was told to do what? And he said, when you do the office of a midwife, when you helping women bring Israelite babies into this world, and see them upon the stool, if it be a son, kill him. Matter of fact, he didn't say kill him, he said, then ye shall kill him. That was an order from the highest rank in Egypt. Kill him. Now, I don't have the statistics right in front of me, but they told us a lie. And look it up. This is the CDC statistics. Look it up. Since the inception, the Supreme Court allowed Roe versus Wade, right? Since the Supreme Court allowed Roe versus Wade, statistically, they say so-called African Americans, just the African, we're not talking Hispanics, we're not talking so-called Native Americans, just African Americans, have completed over 20 million, this is since 1973, 20 million abortions. And I have a problem with that number. And my problem is the number lies. Because, here's why I say it lies, there are 22 states in America that do not report abortions to the CDC by race, by nationality. Because the CDC, being a government entity, did what? They say you can, each state can voluntarily report their abortions by race. So we know that the ones that do report has shown approximately 20 million abortions since 1973. Do you know that we are approximately, 36, 40 million people? That's half of our, that would be 50% population increase, and we would be closer to 60 million if there was no abortions. You understand? If you added all the abortions back. But here's the real deal. 22 states don't report according to race, and 2 of the states, listen to this, this is crazy as all get out. This is the history class, okay? We are the history class. We're letting you know what you've done, Israel. 22 states do not report the abortions they perform by race. 2 of those states are simply California and New York. The issue is California and New York have some of the highest abortion rates in the whole United States. They are very large states with very large Israelite populations. So what are they not reporting? You see that? What are they not reporting? It was so many abortions going on in New York by so-called black women that they put a billboard, and I got it saved in my phone, but they put a billboard up that said this: the most dangerous place for a black baby is in a black woman's womb. Now here's the point. You ought to be goddamn ashamed. If you had an abortion, and you haven't since come into this truth, you ought to walk around with your head hung down looking like a suck-egg dog. You understand me? You understand me? That's what you ought to do, sister. My brother, Officer Zarak, put out a post this morning saying that in light of what is damn near 500,000 abortions a year that so-called black women get, they ought not celebrate Mother's Day, but what they ought to celebrate is Murderous Day. In 1 year, you kill more babies than the number of people, so-called Americans, that was killed in the Vietnam War. Do you get that? And you still don't feel ashamed? Watch this. A sister jumped on his post and gonna comment, well, what about the deadbeat dads? And you know what he responded? He responded real simple. A deadbeat dad leaves the child alive. You're murderesses. You see that? You're a murderess. You are the most dangerous weapon against Israel. The Israelite woman that would run down to the Planned Parenthood abortion clinic. And I was looking at some stuff online, and I guess I was reading stuff from abortion apologists, you know. What an apologist is, like a Christian apologist or Islamic apologist. What they do, they don't apologize for shit. It's a trick in the name, right? But what they do is they're the ones that attempt to justify what they do. They attempt to justify what they do or what they've done. That's an apologist. You see that? And that's what we live among. Apologists. Man, that question came up on Clubhouse, and black women just lost their goddamn mind. You see that? You would have an abortion before you allow your baby daddy to raise the child. And then you like, oh, my hormones and this and that. Shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up with that bullshit, man. Miss me with that. Miss me with that nonsense, all right? Read these scriptures. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife, and this is Exodus 1:16, to the Hebrew women. He didn't say to any other people that was living in Egypt at that time. Now, you know, Israel ended up in Egypt as a result of the famine that came through and wiped out the world. And it was only because Joseph, an Israelite, happened to be in Egypt at the time. In fact, the Lord sent him down there. He started off as a goddamn inmate, a prisoner, a slave. Ain't no difference between the two. An inmate, a slave, a prisoner, a slave, all one and the same. So you know 2 million black men right now are slaves in the United States penal system. But that's how he started off, as a slave and as a convict. And yet the Most High showed him visions of what was to come, allowed him to interpret dreams, and because of that blessing, that ability the Most High gave him, he ended up number 2 in Israel. Shalakia, number 2 in Egypt. His power was only exceeded by Pharaoh himself. You see that? That's even higher than what Moses got. You see. And he was able to save 70 souls, all Israelites. That's all it were. Wasn't like there was 50,000 coming through or 1 million coming. It was 70. 70. Okay? But now Joseph is dead. Israel been there a while and they've grown their numbers. Let's back up a little bit and show you what happened here. Going all the way back up to, in this history, and we are messing with you about abortion. Verse 6, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. That means Joseph, that means Benjamin, that means Issachar, that means Reuben, that means Simon, Zebulun, Asher, Issachar, Benjamin, Judah. They are dead. And now their offspring are there, 1 million strong. Verse 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. We were everywhere, and we were strong. You see that? Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, verse 8, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Now you get into the crux of the matter. What was the reason Pharaoh ordered the midwives to kill all the boy babies when they came out? Listen to this again. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. You see that? Pharaoh said, because they got so big, we afraid now that what? If an enemy comes, they'll join with them and destroy us. So let's get them up out the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, that's those pyramids, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. Well, shit, you don't have nothing else to do but work, get tired, get cleaned up, go home and go to bed. Why? Why is that? Because they afflicted you with slavery. You see that? And when you got to be with your woman, that was a slice of heaven. When you got to be with your man, that was a slice of heaven. And even though they afflicted us, we grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And guess what? It's happening again. Wait till the day that in general, blacks and Latinos recognize each other as brothers and come together. You're going to scare the hell out of America. I don't know how many Latinos there are, but there was between 36 and 42 so-called African Americans. You see that? Add all the Latinos to that. Add all the Native Americans to that. We're going to top 100, 150 million people. We're starting to look like the size of other nations. We ain't reached 1 billion yet, but we're starting to outnumber other nations on the face of the earth. And the Egyptian made the children of Israel serve with vigor, and they made their lives bitter and hard bondage, with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service, of which, Salakia, in all manner of service in the field, all of their services wherein they made them serve was with rigor. They work your behind off. They gave you hard work. You got that? They gave you hard work. And now they want to take it a step further. Verse 15, and the king of Egypt spake to the midwives, Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one of them was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when ye do the office, verse 16, of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stool, if it be a son, ye shall kill him. You get that? Those are the first abortions performed among the Israelites down in Egypt. However, watch what happened. He said, but if it be a daughter, let her live. Why? Because they're already using your daughters before they come out the womb as potential sex partners who they can increase their race by putting their seed in your sister. I praise the Most High that growing up, none of my sisters brought a white boy home. I think my father would have shot him in the face. You see. Let's keep going. Of course, we down to verse 18. We're going to skip that. And we're going to go to verse 19. And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. Our women are not like any other women. And are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. In other words, our sisters, when they got ready to give birth, they better be rushing. When they're ready to bring a baby in, they better be rushing, because these sisters finna spit that baby out now. They're saying when they come in there, the baby's already here. What are you talking about? Verse 20. Therefore, God dealt well with the midwives. He looked after them. He blessed them. He gave them what they needed, even in their personal lives. You see that? Even in their personal lives. He gave them what they needed because they were keeping Israelites alive. You see. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. What did this homosexual want with our sons? That's the question. Let's go to chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took a wife, a daughter of the house of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son, and when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months in his house. That's the first thing. He brand new. She got a. Back then we didn't have no Enfamil and Similac, so she got to breastfeed this baby, and so she hid him for 3 months. And at 3 months, he pretty fat now. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark. That's a basket that she built it that could float. An ark of bulrushes. That's a type of it's not a weed. It'll come to me, but I know what it is. It's kind of a palm type plant. Grow them palm leaves out of it. Palm leaves. She took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch. See that? With lime and with pitch. And she laid hands, Salakia, and she laid it in the flags of the river. That's along the shore, in the reeds and all that, you see, to hide it. And his sister, that was Miriam, stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. In other words, she was watching to see what was going to happen. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down and washed herself at the river, and her maidens walked along the river's side. And when they saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. You see that? We got Moses, we got Mashah in this basket with a pitch and tar on the outside so it don't leak, he don't get wet, and put in there. And while his sister was watching from a distance, Pharaoh's daughter's servant found him. And when she had opened it, verse 6, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept, and she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrew children. Now understand, Pharaoh's daughter knew who in fact she was handling. She said herself, this is one of the Hebrew sisters, brothers. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse him? This is a wet nurse. The child for thee, may nurse the child for thee. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called for the child's mother. Okay, we're going to end that right there. Here's the point. Abortions are not new. You get it? They was trying to abort us 3,500 years ago. But some of you sisters, a significant number of you sisters, suffer from what we like to call the Eve complex. Let me see, that's verse 6. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Nope, that's not it. Let's go to chapter 2. Verse 5. Chapter 2, verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb, nope, that's not the one I want. God formed man, nope, that's not what the one I want. And the rivers, that's not the one I want. And the Lord took man, listen to this, and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. And the Lord commanded the man, saying, listen up, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So we know this is not a tree, literally. You see that? Heard the sister say this morning, well, Eve ate the apple. No, it's not a tree. Y'all need to get into the school. Verse 18. Nope, we're going to skip that one. Verse 19. Okay, let's do verse 19. And out of the ground the Lord God, that's Yahweh, formed every beast of the field, that's the nations, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam, to see what he would call them, and whatsoever Adam called everything living creature that was in the name of. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. Salakia. And Adam gave names to all the cattle. We're going to skip down. So Adam got power. He's the one. And Adam said, this is after woman was born. This is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. That means they come together and have sex. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. They were naked of the knowledge of what was going on in the world. The Most High had them protected. To stay protected, all they had to do is obey him. Chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree. Now you know Satan, he's coming to try to trick her. But it don't take long. Because he takes it one step further, verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Verse 5, for God doth know, in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. Now here's what got you, sisters. And ye shall be like gods, knowing good and evil. What does God have that he hasn't given any man? And that is, at willy-nilly, he has power over life and death. You see that? He has power over life and death. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, power of life and death, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave it also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Verse 7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. What this fruit is doctrines of other nations. And Eve was told that if you learn these doctrines and apply these doctrines of other nations, you shall become like God. And what is the ultimate? To prove God is God, he has the power of life and death. He can think a thing. A man can think a thing and put 1 foot forward, you see, and get it done. But that was not enough power for Eve. Eve wanted the same power God had. That's the power of life and death. And how did that play out in America? I don't give a damn whether your husband or your boyfriend don't want you to have this abortion. If you want to get an abortion, you can. It's legal. And now that they're talking about overturning Roe versus Wade, or Wade versus Roe, however that goes. Now that they've done, they're looking at overturning that. Now you got you sisters out there protesting in the street, talking about reproduction justice, reproduction right. The only right you got is to have babies. You don't have a right to kill your baby. But because that is the point to where you are like God, taking the right of life and death over another human being, you have abortions 500,000 a year. You understand? That's a shame. That's a goddamn shame. You ought to be hung up on a tree. I'm telling you straight up. That's for real. The Bible says, thou shalt not murder. Those who will not take care of their own, especially those of their own household, is worse than an imbecile. How are you taking care of that baby, aborting him, using a goddamn vacuum cleaner as a forceps to get him out? When before you did that, he was 100% alive in his mother's womb, in your womb. Like I say, New York was right. The most dangerous place for a black child is in the mother's womb. You see that? And what has happened over here is with abortions, with Planned Parenthood, they gave you black woman and black man the power over life and death, and your dumb ass has chose to kill the babies at a pace of between 350 to 500,000 a year. It's terrible, it's crazy, and we need to stop. You see clearly with the abortions, they're doing the same thing Pharaoh told them to do when he was looking for Moses. The exact same thing. And you still remain Christians? Y'all tickle the hell out of me. Y'all got me puzzled like I don't know what. It's your Christian preachers that tell you it's okay to get an abortion. Ain't no use in bringing the baby in the world, and you know the brother left you. Now you don't have the financial withdrawal. Let me counsel you. You see. And all he's doing is trying to get into her panties. And y'all go for it. That's the problem. Y'all go for it. But the brother started talking real, say, hey, here's what the real deal is about abortion. First thing you want him to do is shut the hell up. And with that, what time is it? I'm going to say that's my time. This is the ISUPK. I just want you to know, abortions ain't new. Abortions was used against us way back in Egypt to try to reduce our population. Abortions are used today to keep our population under control. Check out on the internet the eugenics projects, EUGENICX project. The eugenics projects. It's all about population control and reducing the number of Israelites that come into this truth. Because you come into this truth, now you're protected. They can do what they want to do. You come into this truth, the Most High got you. And all these brothers, starting with Commander General Yohana, got you. You see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to get abortions. That's murder. You've been tricked by your oppressor to holler that, what is that? I gotta find this. Reproductive rights. But when your reproductive rights include killing a child, how is that anything but an oxymoron? Reproductive rights. I got a right to reproduce, but I'm gonna kill the baby. Y'all dumb as a box of rocks, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right? You gotta stop that nonsense. Because it's exactly that. It's nonsense. It's bullshit, if I may. You need to stop it, stop it, stop it. Go back and open that Bible on your grandmama's table and read it. You see what I'm saying? Open that Bible on your grandmama's table and read it. Not with your Christian eye, because I know you don't get to John 3:16. You think God loves everybody, right? But it doesn't say that. So read it for understanding. Read it for clarity. Y'all pay your tithes. Get ready for the Midwest Fire Weekend, July 22nd, 24th. Be in the house. Detroit gonna be down there in the house. You be in the house. What they say, be there or be square. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Quit giving your tithes to what? The Christian church. You should have left them alone when they shut you out during the pandemic. We didn't do that. We was there for the brothers and sisters. And since the pandemic, we got a brother in here right now that's coming up. We brazen up. And he speaks fluent Spanish. He'll say it's not real fluent, but it's better than I can speak. And so what we're going to do with that brother is let him talk to our Latino brothers and sisters. You see that? Because we're brought into this truth to do a work. It's up to us to find out what work we are to do. How do you find that out? You listen to your brothers. You too, sisters, you got a work to do in here. Talk to your husband. Talk to your camp leader and ask them, what's your work? What's your work? What am I supposed to be doing in here? I'm not a Christian. I don't want to do Christian stuff. What should I be doing? And brothers, you in here, put on the all black, cross the line, and come on in here and stand with your brothers. Like I say, that's my time. That's my time. I'm Officer, Priest and Officer Mashah of the ISUPK. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, way back in 1969. And since that time, we've gone throughout the earth, built this school, and we built it by teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth of their origin. You see that? The truth of their origin. Shalom, Israel.
Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues. Go this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good record. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.